The world of global trade is always evolving, and trade conflicts have the power to reshape entire economies in ways that are often hard to foresee. One of the most significant and ongoing disputes today is the economic clash between the United States and Canada. What began as a disagreement over tariffs has escalated into a high-stakes battle that affects industries across borders, altering the very fabric of global economic relationships. A single tariff can trigger a domino effect, impacting industries, jobs, and consumer prices. Countermeasures can force entire economies to rethink their strategies. Initially, the US aimed to assert its dominance in trade, but as tensions with Canada grow, the economic repercussions are being felt far and wide. What started as a tariff dispute has now become a full-scale economic standoff, threatening industries, jobs, and the foundation of North American trade. With factories closing, jobs at risk, and consumer prices rising, the situation has gone beyond mere trade rhetoric. So, what sparked this escalation, and what can we expect as the standoff continues? Let's dive into the 7 most critical developments in this ongoing and intensifying economic conflict. Trade disputes between nations are nothing new. But what makes this one unique is Canada's strategic response to US tariffs. Instead of retaliating broadly, Canada took a calculated approach, carefully selecting which industries and products to target. This has led to an economic shift that's not just about trade, but about sending a clear message. Canada will fight back without undermining its own economic stability. When the US imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian goods, Canada didn't respond with blanket tariffs. Instead, it targeted industries with significant political and economic importance in the US, such as Kentucky bourbon and Florida orange juice. These products carry symbolic weight in American politics, but the strategy goes beyond symbolism. It's about hitting US industries where it hurts most, at the consumer level. For example, by targeting electric vehicles, Canada directly impacted US manufacturers in a critical sector. This carefully crafted response shows that Canada can engage in this trade war without suffering major collateral damage, setting the stage for a prolonged standoff with implications that extend beyond North America. The electric vehicle (EV) market is one of the most forward-looking industries in North America, with Tesla being a major player. However, the US-Canada trade conflict has put Tesla in a vulnerable position. While Tesla is known for its cutting-edge innovation, it heavily relies on Canadian resources like nickel, lithium, and aluminum, key materials for battery and EV production. Recognizing this, Canada has the power to impose tariffs on these critical resources, which could severely disrupt Tesla's production, leading to increased costs and delays. This wouldn't just affect Tesla. The ripple effect would extend to the entire EV sector, as other automakers also depend on these raw materials. Investors have already started reacting, with stock prices fluctuating due to the trade tensions. As the market adjusts to these disruptions, it's clear that the stakes for the EV industry are high, and Canada's strategic moves could play a pivotal role in shaping its future. One of the most overlooked yet critical consequences of this trade war is its impact on the North American automotive supply chain. Vehicle manufacturing is a highly coordinated process that spans multiple borders before a car or auto part is finally assembled. The US, Canada, and Mexico are all key players in this supply chain, relying on smooth cross-border trade to maintain efficiency and reduce costs. However, the imposition of tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum has disrupted this delicate balance, leading to increased production costs, delays, and job losses. Factories in both the US and Canada, which depend on a steady flow of materials from each other, are experiencing cost spikes. This disruption threatens not only large manufacturers, but also smaller suppliers that play a crucial role in keeping production lines running. Ironically, the tariffs meant to protect US manufacturing jobs may end up harming those very workers, as layoffs and factory closures become more common. Canada, understanding the interconnectedness of this supply chain, has made the automotive sector a primary battleground in this trade war. As the conflict deepens, the pressure mounts on the US to reconsider its policies before the economic damage becomes irreversible. Trade wars are never just about economics. They also have profound political consequences. As American consumers, factory workers, and farmers, feel the pinch of rising prices and job cuts. The political landscape in the U.S. is shifting. What was once seen as a strategic move to protect American industries is now being questioned by politicians who fear voter backlash. Many U.S. lawmakers who initially supported the tariffs are reconsidering their positions as their constituents face higher costs and job losses. Meanwhile, in Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has taken a different approach. Rather than simply reacting to U.S. tariffs, he has positioned himself as a defender of Canadian sovereignty, using the trade war to rally support for national unity. He has framed Canada's retaliatory tariffs as a necessary step to protect Canadian industries and workers, which has strengthened his political standing at home. In the U.S., however, trade policy has become a contentious electoral issue, with the trade war now at the center of political debates. While the U.S. has focused on tariffs, Canada holds another powerful economic tool: energy. The U.S. is heavily reliant on Canadian oil, natural gas, and electricity. Although Canada has not yet fully leveraged this in the trade conflict, the mere possibility of limiting energy exports has caused concern among U.S. officials. Imagine a scenario where Canada reduces oil shipments to the U.S. This could cause gas prices to skyrocket, leading to widespread economic instability. Northern U.S. states, in particular, could face severe electricity shortages, leaving millions without power. These consequences would far outweigh the impact of any tariff. Canada's decision to hold this card in reserve suggests it could be used as a last resort. If Canada chooses to weaponize its energy exports, it could dramatically shift the balance of power in North American trade and reshape economic relations between the two nations. What began as a dispute between two neighboring countries has now spread beyond North America, influencing global trade. European nations are adjusting their trade policies in response to the growing uncertainty, seeking alternative markets and alliances. Meanwhile, China is capitalizing on the situation, forging stronger trade ties with Canada to replace lost business with the U.S. Developing countries are also stepping in to fill the gaps left by U.S. businesses. As the conflict continues, the risk for the U.S. is clear. It could lose its status as a dominant economic force. This trade war is about more than just tariffs. It's about relationships, trust, and the shifting tides of global power. While the high-level strategies and political maneuvering make headlines, the true cost of this trade war is being felt by everyday people. Higher grocery bills, unpredictable gas prices, and small businesses struggling to afford imported goods are just the beginning. The ripple effects extend far beyond big industries, touching every corner of daily life in the U.S. and Canada. Job losses, rising costs for essential goods, and uncertainty about the future are now common for many families. Even if a resolution is reached, it will take years for businesses and supply chains to recover, and consumers will continue to feel the impact long after politicians sign a peace agreement. The key question is, how long will the American public tolerate these hardships before demanding change? What started as a strategic political move has evolved into one of the most impactful trade conflicts in modern history. The battle between the U.S. and Canada is no longer just about tariffs. It's about global influence, economic power, and the future of trade in North America. Will the U.S. continue to escalate this conflict, or will it succumb to mounting economic pressures and seek a resolution before irreversible damage is done? The stakes have never been higher, and the consequences will reverberate for years to come. What do you think? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new economic order, or will cooler heads prevail? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Share them in the comments below. Do you think Canada's strategic approach to tariffs will force the U.S. to reconsider its trade policies? How do you see the global economic landscape changing if this trade war continues? What steps can businesses and consumers take to mitigate the impact of rising costs and supply chain disruptions? For the latest insights into the automotive world and more in-depth analysis, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.